I want to bring in retired Supreme Court Justice, State Supreme Court Justice Janine Geske joining us live. We appreciate you, Justice, for coming back. Your immediate thoughts here on this verdict.
Well, I think it's obvious the jury worked very hard to come to their conclusions, and that's really what we expect of jurors. It was the state had a big burden, and the jury ultimately decided that the state did not meet its burden on any of the charges. I am concerned too that this be a point of unity and not a signal for protesters and counter-protesters to bring weapons to those protests, because it easily could result in more violence in our streets, and we don't need any more deaths or injuries.
So far at this point, we are not seeing that. So we want to make that very clear for our viewers, because there has been so much worry, especially from a lot of the small business owners in and around Kenosha. You know, I have to ask you, was the length of time the jurors were deliberating for, did that bring you any sort of pause, or did you just figure this is part of the process? It could take 2 hours, it could take 26 hours like it did in this case.
Well, it told me they were divided. They clearly were divided, and it took some time for some jurors to come to the conclusion that others had that the defendant was not guilty. But, you know, from what we could tell on the outside, they went about it the way we want them to go about it, relying on the jury instructions, re-looking at evidence, having deliberations, going home when they're tired and coming back the next day. But clearly this was not a unanimous jury when they started, and I think they obviously took their oaths very seriously, as most jurors do.
Kyle Rittenhouse cannot be charged criminally again. Do you think we'll see him in a courtroom again?
I think it is not. I think it's not likely out of anything of this incident. You know, it's possible that some of the victims or victims' families will want to sue him civilly. But I think we certainly won't see him in another criminal case out of this incident. It's over.
I'll ask you the same question that I asked defense attorney Jonathan Smith, and that was how much video evidence now plays a role in so many court cases, because so many people, whether they have surveillance video on their homes, they have cell phones, drones up in the sky, as we saw in this case as well. How important do you see video playing a role, or even changing the way trials take place in this kind of 21st technological century?
Oh, I think it's immense. Even if you look at the Arbery case where there was video shot there, I think we're going to see more and more video. And jurors expect that. They see that on TV. They know things are being filmed. And then officers who walk around with body cams. And so, you know, that I think it's a healthy thing that people can actually see what happened versus have people try to remember and describe it. But a lot of video, a lot of technology, and just so it doesn't get so complicated that the jury loses its path in trying to just simply figure out whether a party has met its burden.
Janine Geske, retired State Supreme Court Justice, appreciate your time. We got it.